But the big news is the reports that the Texans have designated Christian Harris and Kenyon Green to return to practice from IR. So those guys should be back at practice coming up this week. And the head coach, D'Amico Ryans in particular, had this to say about his linebacker who he's been without all season, Christian Harris.
Christian's done an outstanding job of working off to the side, and our strength and conditioning staff, our sports performance staff done a great job of working with Christian and just seeing him back out, moving around. He looks like himself physically, moving around. It's just a matter of, like you said, missing a lot of football. It's just a matter of him getting back in and getting those. It can help you do football instead of playing football. So he just has to get out there and get those physical reps of hearing a call, getting lined up. But physically, he looks like he's in a really good spot.
All right, that's him talking about Christian Harris. And he also spoke about Kenyon Green and just simply said, hey, we're not making decisions right now, which we probably know what they're going to do, but he ain't letting us know the decisions. But those two guys are back, Clint. And the people, you can jump in. Those of you on YouTube and Twitch, we appreciate you every day. Those of you on the text line, we appreciate you also as well. And thank you for riding with us as you do every day. You can respond to this as well. What does this mean for the Texans getting these guys back, and how soon do we think they could be available for the Texans? Because obviously Christian Harris especially sticks out as a key member of this team.
Look, I hope neither one of these guys are a factor this week. I don't think bringing Christian Harris back after a week's worth of practice and introducing him to the quickest, twitchiest, most explosive, arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the league with the timing and the RPO and the quick game and the screen game. This offense is going to be a tough matchup for the Houston Texans, in particular their linebackers. Put a lot of stress on their linebackers. I don't know that introducing Christian Harris back to the NFL as the first game back after 1 week of practice, especially the way practice nowadays in 2024 in the NFL, I don't know that is a good idea. I'm pretty sure I would rather have guys that have been seeing full speed action for the entire season. This linebacking crew has proven to be deep. Whether you know the guy's name or not, that depth has played really well. We'll see if they can handle what Miami's going to throw at them. But I think I would much rather go with the guys that are healthy. Glad to hear Christian Harris is back on the practice field. Huge step in the right direction, right? It's been a long time since this guy's played football. Forget the contact aspect of it. That's the biggest part of it. Forget the physicality that is the NFL with most teams. Forget that part of it. Let's just talk about seeing what the hell's going on in real time and being able to react instead of think. I don't know that Christian Harris is going to be ready to rock and roll in that fashion yet against this particular offense. So I hope this is a non-factor. And then you look at guard, Kenyon Green. I think.
Come on, let's just be honest. This ain't about Kenyon.
This is depth. I do think it gives you some options at the guard position if there is indeed some kind of injury somewhere. It gives you a little bit of versatility, if you will, up front. If something happens at center, Juice can go back. Boom, you plug and play pieces that have already played those positions, and you're not introducing guys to the NFL. You're not introducing guys to real action. So it gives you some depth. But this Kenyon Green coming back again should not affect the starting offensive line in any way, shape, or form.
That's what I was going to say. This is about Christian Harris. Kenyon Green, Kenyon Green is going to go back to, I think, the role that he was headed towards before he got injured. Right, and I think that was, hey, when Jared Patterson gets back, we're going to move Jared Patterson somewhere in the starting lineup, and you take a step back, and he would only return, I think, in there if there was an injury like you just talked about. To me, this is about Christian Harris, and I just don't see how or why right now the Texans aren't in the situation. Obviously, they have lost Azeez Al-Shire, but to me, Clint, like to think this guy, we've not seen him on the practice field since he was on the practice field for about a half an hour in training camp, and then he had to go back out with whatever this calf issue has been. to think like they did that with Nico. Nico returned to the practice field, and he didn't play for a week or two. So, I mean, to me, I would be shocked if Christian Harris is on the field against them. And as you said, to bring it back, hey, hello, here comes A-Chain, here comes Jonnu Smith, and the speed that they bring. Like, this to me, if he is on the field by Christmas against the Ravens, I think to me that makes a lot of sense. Like a couple of weeks, because just to ramp him up and make him go immediately, to me feels like that's dangerous. You want to let him get himself going first.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even if you feel good about, I know D'Amico Ryans feels really good about the strength conditioning staff and the training staff working together to make sure these guys are ready to play. And you even if you have the best of those two combined, and you're doing all the work on the side, and this guy's giving you everything you want. He's changing direction. He's exploding. He's stretching it out. He's giving you – I mean, he can literally go full speed and full tilt when he's changing directions. There still ain't nothing like 250, 300 pounds leaning on you, and now you're trying to hold that. You're trying to go the way that the opposite direction that guy is, and now – whatever's wrong with the calf, whatever's wrong with the knee, whatever's wrong with the Achilles, whatever, now you got 250, 300 pounds bearing down on you. That's a different animal. And so I just would rather see him get a few weeks' worth of practice of full speed, a little bit of contact mixed in there at some point in time before we throw him to the Wolves. Again, I would be more worried about the reading and reacting in real time that the Miami Dolphins are fixing to throw at you. Yeah. That's a monster.
All right, Clint, this was a weekend. That was a bye week, so you had to kind of sit back like many of you did and just kind of relax and watch football. And it's hard not to watch these games, from a Texans perspective, and to see like some of these games and watch it and think like, ooh, how do they compare to this? And what do they look like here and all this and that? And I know that was absolutely the case for you, Clint, and you watched some games, and it kind of spoke to you about C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, it's easy for me. I watch all these games through a Texans lens. It's whether it's similar scheme, or it's just the better quarterbacks in the game, or it's an opponent that the Texans are going to play. It's impossible for me to watch any game that's not watching it through the Texans lens. But I do think there's one thing that really stuck out to me, and I think I'm guilty of it. I damn sure know that the fan base overall in general is guilty of it. The expectations for C.J. Stroud. As I watch these guys play, CJ ain't in the same like it's not it's he's never been and never will be in the same
you saying never will be?
No, yeah. I'm talking about when you watch Pat Mahomes play football and you watch Josh Allen play football and like the way that those guys play, it is a win at all cost. It is they're winning as much with their feet as they are their arm. In those moments when they're winning with their feet, they're cool, calm, collected. Given the moment to make a last-second drive or to make a run for a first down, these guys are doing it so effortlessly that it's ridiculous.
But you don't think CJ in his own way?
No,
I mean, he's not their same player, but you don't believe that about Burrow, do you?
No. Well, no. I think Burrow. The Burrow is a good comp to CJ. But I think when you look at the scheme that Burrow's in and the guys that he's played with and how they play offensive football, I still think CJ's not that guy. I've talked about this in breaking CJ Stroud down. I firmly believe that this is the only way CJ Stroud is elite in this league. Tom Brady. It's the only way. I watch those guys play. I watch those guys put their team on their back and how they do it. CJ ain't doing that.
Yeah, but he can put his team on. But we've watched CJ put his team on his back in a different. But it doesn't look like that.
But that's what I'm talking. Well, no, it definitely don't look like that. No, these guys are doing it with their legs and their feet, and they're doing it for multiple years. I'm just saying the thought of the way that CJ Stroud is an elite quarterback in this league is the same way that Brady was an elite quarterback in this league. We've talked about it stylistically of how they won last year and kind of juggling the aggressive versus Tom Brady style this year, and how it's that is who C.J. Stroud is. I think we've been talking about this, like C.J. is going to become this quarterback that is similar to those guys, and maybe not the downhill run game that Josh Allen brings to the table, but just affect the game that way. And it's not. I watched that game this week, these games this weekend. I'm like,
is it really those two that stuck out to you? Is it Josh Allen and Mahomes are just from a skill set different and talent, just a complete different talent.
But
Stafford, I guess you got to throw that in there too.
Yeah, but Stafford's a lot like the Joe Burrow, where it's just the constant driving the football into coverage and just and the constant.
But you don't think CJ can get to that?
Nope, it's Tom Brady. It's Tom Brady. Period. Point blank. And I know a lot of people out there are going to look at that as a negative. It's not a negative.
Not Tom Brady.
That is how C.J. Stroud is built to win. On time, on schedule, calculated risk, from the pocket, outthinking other people. You watch these other guys, man, it's just like I just don't see how many times we're going to watch Pat Mahomes in a final minute of a game, whether he's driving to put a game away or he's driving to kick a field goal to win it or score a touchdown to win it, and his legs are as much of a factor as his arm is. Whether he's running for first downs or he's scrambling, keeping plays alive, and then dumping the ball down like he did yesterday to Travis Kelce inside to get the first down so that they can kick a field goal with no time on the clock. Like it's just not. I don't believe that's the route that C.J. Stroud takes in this league. Mm-hmm. I think I've been open to kind of considering, well, who's he going to be? Where's he going to fit? Like I think he is Tom Brady. He's got to win. He's got to win, and the best C.J. Stroud is a Tom Brady, the Tom Brady mold. Period.
Yeah, I think it's too early to go with it. I mean, I'll defer to your.
No,
as you are the what do you say, Tyler? The top 5 coach.
Ain't no doubt it. Ain't no doubt
in the country. I'll defer to that. But I think it's too early to make the thought that when I look at him and I think he can be Burrow. Burrow doesn't use his legs Josh is as so eloquently put by the Rams coach Sean McVay. He's an alien, and so is Mahomes. I don't know that he can use, but Joe Burrow at times uses his legs. Trust me, he ripped my heart out with his legs before. He uses his legs to get key first downs. I think it's just too early to say CJ can't get to that nature.
I said it. I'll be clear. Like the Burrow when I'm stylistically, I think Burrow and Stroud are very similar and can be very similar. The difference is Burrow is overly aggressive in vertical shots and just pressure. Like they are going to throw it 82 times a game. They're going to. I mean, that's just who they've been since he's been there.
You don't think that's CJ?
No, I don't. No, I don't think that's. I know it's not this system, so we'll never know unless
aren't they in the same system?
It's the tree. Yes, I mean that is a more, to me, a more vertical, aggressive approach with those two receivers he has, and this one right here is it has to be a little bit more. I just think Brady. My point is, I think Brady is the mold where CJ is elite in this league and wins Super Bowls in this league. I sit around and watch these other guys playing. I'm like, CJ ain't doing those things.